Hi everyone, today I brought to you a Pilates class. It is suitable for beginners to intermediate level and it's a mixed ability class, so anyone can take part. It's going to be roughly for about 45 minutes to an hour, and we're going through a range of exercises to target the whole body. You don't need any equipment whatsoever apart from a yoga mat or a Pilates mat. And there will be a few exercises I'm not able to do because of my pregnancy, but I've got someone else to do it for me while I'm coaching them through it, so I hope you don't mind. So hope you enjoy the class and let me know if you've got any questions or comments below. So we're going to start with a warm-up. We're heading from the crown of the head down towards the toes. So feet underneath the hips, lifting up through the legs, up to the pelvic floor, up to the hips. Our abdominal muscles are engaged, but not just the superficial ones, the deep ones as well, the transversus abdominis. So you want to pull your hip bones towards each other, closing in the middle, and then make sure that you're breathing to the rib cage rather than down into your belly, so you can maintain that engagement throughout, which is very important in the class. So eye gaze lifts up, it stays on the horizon, and the shoulders are relaxed. Crown of the head lifts. So you've got the long, nice and tall posture that we'd like to maintain throughout. So the neck is long at the back, like someone is pulling your head upwards and slightly back. And from that position, we're turning the head one way and then breathing into the center and out to the other side, turning the other way. So inhale through the center and exhale to the other side. So do 2 more of this, making sure the in-breaths come through the nose and the out-breaths leave through the mouth. And making sure that the range of movement is comfortable enough. Okay, so taking the eye gaze over the opposite shoulder, let the head drop, chin down towards your collarbone, and just roll your head over to the other side. Look into the side wall, horizon, and then back down towards your chest, all the way across. So we want to just relax the head down, feeling the gentle stretch down the back of the neck into the upper back. Feeling the movement through the vertebrae of the neck. Take a breath at the side and exhale across the center. And one last time. Eye gaze lifts up. Now we move on to the shoulders, lifting them straight up towards the ears and exhale to relax. So breathing in through the nose and out through the mouth. It's a straight up and down movement rather than rolling the shoulders. So just moving lightly, warming up the shoulder muscles, just lubricating the joints. We've got 2 more to go. Just let the arms be heavy. They follow your movement. So we're making it a little bit bigger with the arms lifting overhead, arms nice and straight, palms facing the front, and exhale to press your arms back and behind the body. Take a breath in and lift, making sure shoulders stay down and remain there, and the arms press back, activating those triceps. So breathe in, breathe out. Inhale, exhale. Notice how your spine isn't moving at all, your eye gaze isn't moving at all. It's literally just shoulders and arms. One more time. Arms down to shoulder height, palms facing in, Now we're going to try and rotate the spine. So we got a row movement. Taking one arm back behind us, elbow pulls back, and we're squeezing the shoulder blade towards the spine. Inhale to return to the center, and exhale to twist the other way. So breathing in, long arms, breathing out, a bit of strength in the upper back. So we want to isolate the middle portion of the spine here. Therefore, the hips are very steady. They do not move, they do not twist, and our weight distribution is still the same in between the feet. The second way of mobilizing our spine is a side bend, where we take one arm over the head, other arm slides down the thigh, and then we C-shape or curve the spine. Inhale to the top, exhale, arm relaxes. Other side, inhale to lift, and exhale to C-shape, breathing in and breathing out. So we're also looking to maintain the stability of the lower body as well as the hips, making sure that the hips remain in the center, the legs remain bearing the same amount of weight. And if it feels good, you can increase the range, increase the stretch down the side of the body. So breathe in. Breathe out, breathe in, breathe out. It's always very important to work in your own pace, work with your own breath, rather than just going through the motions without giving it a thought. And the last one. And relax. So we're going to take hands to the hips and bend the knees ever so slightly, moving through the lower back, moving through the hips. So we're rocking the pelvis, pushing through the bum, pushing the hips out forwards, and then sticking the bum out at the back, really stretching out through the glutes. So exhale, shortening at the front, and inhale, shortening on the other side. The knees remain bent the entire time to allow for the movement to be comfortable. And as we go, those movements are becoming smaller and smaller until we are happily in the middle, where your hip bones are drawing up, and then you can straighten your legs again. Now arms on your thighs. So hips, knees and ankle joints are next. Bigger muscles, also bigger movement. So breathing in into a squat position, maintaining neutral spine where your tailbone is ever so slightly lifted, arms remaining straight. Exhale as we lift high up to the top. Inhale, bending through the knees, body is hinging forwards. Exhale, back to neutral. So inhale on the way down and exhale on the way up. What we're looking at here is making sure that the legs are bending enough, like you were to sit down, rather than just folding forwards from the upper body. So feel the warming, a bit of work going all the way down the legs. Exhale. One more time. And then if you want to, just hands on your hips or arms by your sides, lifting the heels up one at a time. Just transferring weight but not letting the hips, the midsection of the body, relax. So it's not about swaying hips from side to side, it's keeping everything pulled up and pulled in towards the center so you can maintain the body position throughout. Okay, right, so that was our warm-up. We're going to now move on to exercising the body. So beginning standing, we are going to keep working with the squat. In that position, you will have your feet just outside your hips, your toes will be slightly turned out. It's very important to keep the neutral spine positioning, like a very gentle lifting of the tailbone outwards. Make sure you're closing those hip bones in and draw the navel in and up. So hands to your hips, breathing in to sink back and down as far low as you can, and then exhale to straighten up. Inhale to sit back, keep the shoulders away from the ears, and exhale to stand. So we've got 6 more of that. So as I mentioned in our warm-up, the knees are bending quite a lot, and the knees should be staying behind the toes to effectively load up our thighs and our hips. We want the upper body higher up, so that will keep our belly muscles working. And make sure you're breathing into the chest as usual, with inhalations through the nose and exhalations through the mouth. Last one. Second exercise, legs go even wider. We have got a side lunge. So we're working on one side of the body, then we're going to work on the other side straight away. Side lunge. So before you do it, just have a look. We're going to shift our way over to one leg, lifting the tailbone as usual, pressing into one leg, and with the upper body, we are going to bend in now, reaching the arms far ahead of us. So if you can lift your arms over your head, like biceps next to ears, that's really good. But if not, you're more than welcome to just keep your hands on your hips throughout. So, toes are slightly turned as in the previous exercise, and let's begin. So breathing in, bending through the leg, bending through the hip. Exhale to stand back up. Inhale, going to the same leg. Exhale to stand again. Eye gaze down on the floor, then the eye gaze lifts back up to the horizon. Breathing in, breathing out. Now we want to just check back with the body. We want the shoulders and the hips parallel to each other. Also parallel to the front, whichever wall you're facing. And then you're pushing into the leg and into the foot, driving the floor away. We've got 2 more to go. Inhale. Exhale, nice and strong backs to help us, and also to lift the arms. Other side. Breathing in, breathing out. So we're pushing down through the foot. That will help you to really squeeze into the hamstrings and squeeze into the glutes. Breathing out. Watch the knee, let it be in line with your toes the entire time. Hopefully behind them rather than in front of them. So the knee joints will be happy and safe. 3 more times. Nice big knee bend. Standing straight back up, working against gravity. And the last one. Right. So that was all the standing exercises. Now we're going to walk over to the side of the mat, whichever side, it doesn't really matter. Feet underneath the sit bones, so they are a bit narrower than we think, about fist distance apart there, and then eye gaze up on the horizon. We're going to do a roll down to get ourselves down to the mat to follow with the rest of the exercises. So take a breath in as you look to the horizon, and exhale, drawing the chin down towards the chest, going really, really slowly, one vertebrae at a time, rounding the spine, starting at the top, tracing the chin down the breastbone, letting the arms hang, let them be heavy, and just keep breathing as you normally would, but in through the nose and out through the mouth. So really rounding, 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 and feeling the stretch of your mid-back muscles now. The legs are still straight. The tailbone is still drawing downwards and slightly out. And then when you can't go anymore, that's when you're bending your legs, hands on the ground, and walk out, so you'll find yourself on all fours. I'm going to turn around so you can see if you need to. So positioning hands, fingers pointing to the short edge of your mat, sort of like you're twisting your palms into the ground. That brings about a slight rotation through the elbow joints, so the elbows will be pointing back towards your hips. Maintaining neutral spine, meaning there will be a little dip happening through the lower back, while as you're drawing that TVA, that belt muscle in and towards the center, that position is safe. Beginning with a knee hover that is going to target our core, also shoulders, arms, a little bit in the legs as well. So we begin by closing the knees and tucking the toes under. As you inhale, you prepare, and as you exhale, you're going to lift your knees off the ground, 1/2 inch, but no more than 1 inch, and just hold it for a breath or two. So in through your nose, out through your mouth. 1 breath in to prepare, exhale, lift. Inhale through your nose, exhale through your mouth. If you can hold it for another breath, even better. If not, feel free to drop the knees down. Exhale, feel the tightening through the belly, feel the shoulders kicking in, trying to hold the body away from the floor. So inhale through your nose and exhale through your mouth to drive the floor away, hovering just barely above it, really fighting gravity. We've got 3 more to go. So breathe in, prepare, and push. Two more to go. Keep looking down, neck stays long, shoulders stay away from the ears. And the last one coming. Bit of movement if you need to. Squeeze the thighs, squeeze the abs, and your shoulders. And release. From here we sit back into child's pose. The wider the knees, the more comfortable it is. And if your shoulders need a break, feel free to take your arms behind you and just the forehead down on the ground. We'll be here for about 15 seconds, so feel free to keep resting for as long as you need to. And just find your breath again, let it slow down. So that was our strength exercise. Now we're moving on to one that focuses more on mobility of your upper and mid back. So once you're able to, please return to your all fours position. And this is going to be thread the needle. So your feet remain flat, your weight distribution even through knees and hands. This time, choosing the hand that's closest to me, elbow lifts up towards the ceiling, eye gaze turns, shoulders turn, hips don't, they stay facing the ground. Exhale to thread the arm underneath, keeping your supporting arm nice and straight throughout and looking to the other side. So breathe in, squeezing the shoulder blade in towards the spine, and exhale, letting the area stretch and relax. Breathing in, nice and long breath into the ribs, and exhale, let those ribs contract. Now it doesn't matter how small or big your range is or your movement is, just work with what you have and really focus. Keep in mind the stability needs to come from the hips and your supporting shoulder. Opening up through the heart space. One more time. And now we're changing sides. So I'll be turning around. You stay facing the same way, just because I don't have enough space here. But stay in that setup. And then when you're ready, fingers come to the temples. Take a breath in, shoulder lifts, elbow lifts, eye gaze turns. Exhale, depressing through that shoulder, lengthening out towards the back of the room, and inhale again. So notice notice those thoracic vertebrae really moving one on top of each other. Make sure that they are comfortable though. You don't want to press too much. Don't want to press too much tension on top of them. Just whatever feels right. Big in breath, opening up. Full out breath. Last time. And relax. Back to child's pose. Sitting hips back and down. Resting the arms either behind or underneath the forehead, or wherever you need to. Just take your time, there's no need to rush anywhere. And on top of that mobility, we're just going to put one more exercise in on all fours. Moving into cat, so moving the entire length of the spine. Hands on the shoulders, knees on the hips. And then we take the movement, make sure it begins at the tail end and finishing at the crown end of the spine. So breathe in, and as you breathe naturally, start rolling your low back upwards towards the ceiling, and then make sure you're rolling slowly into your mid back, into your upper back, and then once you've reached your upper back, that's when your head drops down. Allow it to be heavy. Movement is the same on the way out. So keeping the upper back posture and then rolling out through the low back, the tailbone. Then let it follow into the mid back, upper, and the head. So breathe in, breathe out. Just 2 more times. Go slowly. Be patient with your body and really bring your mind into the movement. Really try to isolate every single bone in your spine rather than just rushing through it. Every single one of them. Hi everyone, so George, my partner, is going to show 3 exercises that I'm not able to do because they're all facing down. So I've got a bump now, so I can't lay on my belly. So next exercise, laying on your front. You've got your hands stacked underneath your forehead, so you're definitely facing down with your entire body, and the back of the neck throughout is long. So you don't want any creasing happening in the neck vertebrae at all. This is going to be called a back extension. So we're working with the strength of our mid-back and also mobility of our mid-back, meaning the 2 large muscles, the lats, they will be doing the work for us while we try and keep the chest lifting and not jamming the neck back at all whatsoever. So we are only doing 8 repetitions of this exercise. We can relax the legs completely. They don't need to engage at all. The bum doesn't need to engage at all. So having the heels apart and the toes together is pretty optional to do this. Now take a big breath to prepare, and as you exhale, try and lift your chest, your head and your arms off the ground. Inhale to lower. Exhale to lift. Really good. Inhale to lower. So just keep on working in your own breath, your own rhythm. Never holding, not the exercise, not the position, not even your breath. So extending through the spine, through the middle portion there. Good. Allowing the eye gaze to stay facing down or slightly towards the front edge of the mat. As you're lifting, feel a gentle squeeze down through the shoulder blades in a V shape. Really good. So just keep the neck really long there. Lovely. You've got 2 more. And the last one. Perfect. Now relax your upper body down. And I'm moving on to the lower body there. So we've got a few flutters or flutter kicks to get through. They are going to really target the glutes and the hamstrings strength-wise. This time around, if you straighten your legs, so toes will be pointing away from you, and we aim to keep the legs straight. So imagine you're wearing like a knee brace that wouldn't let you to bend your knees at all. All you can do is squeeze your glutes and hamstrings enough to elevate both of your legs, making sure they remain straight. From here onwards, you're going to do really, really tiny kicks as fast as you can go. So there will be a lot of bum squeeze, a lot of leg strength. Keep going, breathing in through the nose and breathing out through the mouth. There, yeah, so we're not counting repetitions here. We're just trying to breathe through the exercises, maintaining the intensity level through the lower body. We're also trying to keep everything relaxed up top. So elbows down, head down, chest down. The only part of the body that is still lifting is the navel pulling into the spine to keep the midsection really stable. So let's do 5 more seconds. 3, 2, and 1. Release the legs back down. Lift yourself up onto all fours and sit back into child's pose to relax every single part of your body. And just stay there. So we have got one final exercise that is done laying face down on the mat. George has just changed position so that we've got enough space to do both arms at the same time. The exercise is called a rear fly, which would strengthen, train the upper back muscles, the backs of your shoulders. So let me just pick up the camera to show you. Okay, so the body is long, legs and glutes relaxed completely, and we are laying face down. The back of the neck stays long. If you need cushioning to go underneath your head, you can get a block or roll up a towel and place it underneath it so your head is supported. But otherwise, rear fly, backs of your shoulders. We're doing 10 repetitions of this exercise. When we're ready, we take a breath in, and then on the exhalation, the arms elevate, they lift off the floor, and on the inhalation, they lower. So exhale and lift. Inhale to lower. As we're lifting, we keep the arms really wide apart, like someone is pulling your fingertips away from you. So maintaining that space, that strength throughout the backs of the arms. Breathe out on the effort and in to lower. It's very easy to start involving the rhomboids, the muscles in between the shoulder blades, but let's just try and work with the shoulders only. So they are smaller muscles, and also they don't require that much lift to activate them. Just take care and be mindful of your movement. How many have you got? One more. Exhale and inhale. Okay. Right, so we have now started focusing on the abdominal muscles mainly. So our first target is the rectus abdominis muscle to strengthen, to warm up, which would be your six-pack muscle right at the top, running down the entire length of your core. The exercise is called one leg stretch. So while it warms up your abdominals, it also helps you to stretch, to lengthen, to loosen up the hamstrings, which we're going to need once we move on to the following exercise after this. So you're laying on your back, you've got your feet on the ground, your arms are long by your sides. Let's breathe in to prepare. And on the exhalation, I'd like you to lift your head and lift your shoulders up like you were to crunch, but only make sure it's small. From here, lift one of your legs. You can keep your knees bent to begin with and wrap the hands around the thigh, pulling it in quickly twice. Inhale, leg goes down, head stays up, and switch legs. Exhale, twice pulling in, and change. Keep going with this. We only have very few reps. If you find that your hamstrings are flexible enough, you find yourself already loose enough, you're more than welcome to start straightening your legs more and more in every single rep. Exhale. Inhale. Exhale. Good. So we are very, very likely to start letting go of the effort through the abs here. Make sure you've got your mind in the exercise as well, shortening, contracting through those muscles to help you up, and you don't have any tension going around the shoulders, neck, or your jawline. Okay, after this we've got one more on each leg. Good. Fingers come to the temples. So we're switching over to the following exercise, oblique exercise. Crisscross. So we've loosened up the hamstrings. We're ready to go into cross body crunches. Shoulder towards the opposite knee. So inhale to prepare. Exhale, bring about the crunch, lifting the leg and lifting the shoulder. Inhale to lower and exhale to go the other way. Inhale back down to the ground and exhale to twist. Good. So aiming to get 8 more on each side of the body. Very important to keep this very slow. So you can really contract, really find breathing out actually helps you to go deeper into the range to get stronger. Exhale through the mouth, letting go of effort, and inhale through the nose to recharge. So ideally, those elbows will be quite wide, just in the peripheral vision, and that will also help you to increase your range, and then make sure that the shoulder is the one leading the movement rather than the arm. Last few left. Keeping those fingers rather light on the head. We never want to pull the neck. So keeping the effort in that powerhouse, in that core of yours. Okay. Now lengthen your legs out, please. I'm going to move out of the way and just lengthen your arms over your head. Long body stretch, relax yourself. If you find you need to have little movements, you can just twist, rotate any way you like to let go of all of the tension in the body, especially through the sides and the front of the core. Our final exercise will be back with the glutes. So arms back to your sides, palms down, and then you're going to bend your legs, feet on the ground, fist distance apart. Glute bridge or shoulder bridge. It, while helps you to mobilize again through the entire length of the spine, it also strengthens glutes and hamstrings, also stretches hip flexors and your quads. So the way we did cat in the first portion of the class, we're going to do shoulder bridge exactly the same way. So trying to isolate every single vertebrae individually as we're rolling ourselves up. So the first 4 repetitions, we're only playing around with the low back, so we're not lifting off. Inhale to prepare. On your exhalation, I'd like you to push your low back into the ground, flattening your spine. Inhale to try and peel your low back off ever so slightly. Exhale, low back presses in. Inhale to let it go. 2 more times. Exhale, press it in, and feel your hips gently rocking front and back as you do this. No need to crunch, no need to squeeze your bum at all here. Just moving, loosening up the low back again. Now lengthen your fingers, lengthen your arms, press your triceps into the ground. We're going all the way up to shoulder bridge. Breathe in to prepare, breathe out, peeling your spine up from tail end. Squeeze the bum, lifting nice and high. Inhale at the top, exhale to lower yourself back to the ground, exactly the same way. Inhale at the bottom, exhale to drive the floor away. So you've got your feet underneath your knees at the top. So I will just make a quick adjustment. Have your feet slightly closer to you. Good. And slightly apart. That's it. And keep going. So what we're looking at here is knees staying closer in line with the ankles. So rolling. First off, just the hip, then just the low back, then just the mid back, lifting separately. Have a sense of weight down through your big toes. That will also help you to find anchor points. There is another one coming, but this one we're going to hold at the top and add on a heel lift. So we're looking at stabilizing the hips, making sure the glutes can be working individually as well. So rather than lifting both of your heels at the same time, just lift one at a time and then switch. Good. So hips always staying facing upwards, facing the ceiling, no dipping, no twisting, nothing at all. Making sure your glutes on one side are able to hold while the other ones are not holding as much. Great. Keep squeezing the bum though, keep squeezing through your back so you're able to maintain a nice and high position. We only have 4 more left. 3, squeezing through the calves every time we lift the heels. 2, and 1, lower the heels, lower your back down, and hug your knees into your chest to relax. Bit of rocking from side to side might feel good. And that completes our exercises for today. All we've got to do is stretch. So the final portion of the class is stretching. So we're going to take a few minutes to really let the body go, let the tension go from all the muscles we have worked. So our last exercise was glute bridge, shoulder bridge. So we have ended up being on our backs, hugging the knees into the chest. That really stretches out the lower back and the glutes too. Now we are going to begin with a hamstring stretch. So place one of your legs down on the ground, the other one stays up. Try to straighten it towards the ceiling and hold behind the leg. It can be either below the knee joint or above the knee joint. It doesn't really matter. We're just looking to keep the legs straight rather than encourage it to bend. Let the shoulders relax down to the ground. Let your head relax down to the ground. And just do what you can to focus on the sensation of lengthening out from the hip towards the tip of your toes. Breathing in and breathing out is always not a good thing to hold the breath when you're trying to let tension go from the body. Inhale, then exhale and try to pull the leg a little bit closer to you. Don't force it if it's not happening. Just try your best to increase the intensity. Keep breathing in your own pace. And switch legs. So other leg lifts up, hamstring stretch, holding in your usual spot behind the leg, again avoiding the back of the knee because that usually encourages the knee to bend, and there's a whole lot more work mentally and physically to try to keep it straight. So again, we're relaxing onto the ground, the body feels heavy, the intensity is mild, maybe a little bit towards moderate. But once the shoulders feel heavy and you feel relaxed enough to carry on, maybe even increase on that intensity, you're more than welcome to do so. In that case, just take a long breath in, and as you exhale, you can pull the leg about half an inch, maybe an inch closer to you, and just try to hold, try to resist. Really good. Lovely. So the leg goes down. Please roll yourself up to seated any way you can. All fours. So hands and knees. Lunge one of your legs inside of your hand. So kneeling lunge. And then climb yourself up into upright position. So hands can be on the hips or your leg in front of you, and just relax your weight down towards the ground. If that feels a bit too much, you can also just try and tuck your tailbone under so your lower back comes out of extension into neutral. And then changing legs. So again, loading the body weight gently onto the ground, down through your front leg, and letting the lengthening, the stretch start at the hip and go all the way towards your kneecap. Okay, take the leg back underneath you, all fours. Cat stretch, so you're going to lift your belly button up towards the spine, hollowing the tummy, drop the head, feeling the back muscles lengthen and stretch. Just breathe normally while you're staying at the top. And release. 2 more times. When you can, take your time with it. Breathe in, breathe out, pushing your back up towards the ceiling. making as much space underneath you as you can. Last time. And as you come down, just tuck your toes under, please. We're going into downward dog or up stretch. Keep those knees bent if you feel still very tight through the hamstrings and the back. Downward dog. Pushing your weight back into your legs. Driving the hands into the ground. That's it. Good. Now stretch your legs out long. And walk your hands in towards your feet like you were to come into a forward fold. So hands towards the feet. Soft knees. Body hangs upside down. Feel heavy. Flat back extension. So your back is nice and long. Push the floor away through your feet. Stick your bum out behind you so you feel your hamstring stretching too. And then bend your legs and roll yourself up to standing. Slowly rolling through the spine. And that was the class for today. Let's thank George for his help. That completes our workout for today. I hope you enjoyed it. Any questions, let me know, please. And thank you, George, for participating. Take care of yourself and see you next time. Bye.